Hiya. Somebody's asked me to tell this story. Basically, what happened is that I've been called a racist in the comments underneath one of my videos. And I'm not a racist, I'm really not. I need to say this. When I was in prison 10 years ago, I met a woman who was a Muslim lady. She was the same age as me. Her birthday was a couple of days difference. Her name was Sadire Babai. She was my neighbour for 18 months. And basically, I saved her life. She was due to be murdered. She had a death sentence hanging over her in reception in the prison. So every time we heard keys jangling and officers coming towards where we were, we always believed that, we called her Violet for short because most people couldn't remember her name. She was absolutely lovely, this lady. She was a Muslim and she prayed 4, 5, 6 times a day. She'd been raped and abused by her husband in Iran. And at the time, none of this was going on. The COVID stuff wasn't going on. But she had this death sentence hanging over her in Iran, and I got to know all about her, and she was, like I say, she was lovely. She had been married to a guy in Iran who was a copper, a bent copper. He used to rape her and beat her up at weekends with his friends in front of her children. She had 2 boys. In Iran at that time, this was before the war, before the terrorism thing, the war on terror, before 9/11. So we didn't know any of that. You know, we didn't know what was going on. And I was, like I say, I was a neighbour. She was in the next cell to me. And I got to know all about her. She was brilliant. She used to go out at night in Iran with her boobs strapped up on a motorbike and wouldn't accept the fact that women were really second-class citizens there. She did her own thing. She was admirable to me, admirable. And she was due to go home and be bricked to death. She was supposed to be buried from the waist down and then bricked to death for, what do you call it? Well, for being, she was married and she was supposed to have had an affair. She didn't have an affair. What she did was she got friendly with a taxi driver that she used to use. She told him her life story and how terrible things were for her. And her and the taxi driver became friends. So he helped her to get a fake passport. And she came to Britain on this fake passport. And just before the plane landed, she was so terrified that she flushed it down the toilet and she got caught. So she ended up in prison for 2 years, I think it was, and then she was due to go back. But she had this fake, a fake reason why she was going to be murdered. She was going back to be bricked to death. And in the 18 months that I got to know this woman in prison, there was no way that I could just sit back and let that happen. So I tried to start a list for people to sign for her. The screws in the jail said, "Joella, if you don't stop it, we are going to charge you with inciting a riot." And I said, "But I'm not inciting a riot. All I'm trying to do is raise awareness for this poor woman who was going home to be killed. She didn't deserve that at all. She definitely did not deserve that. She hadn't done anything wrong. All she'd done was try to escape a violent, vicious husband who was a bent copper, who lied to his boss and said she was an adulterer. She wasn't. She never ever committed adultery. All she tried to do was get away. She got a fake passport, and as she got to Manchester Airport, she started to panic and she flushed it down the toilet. And they found it. That was it. That was all she was there for. But at the time, I said to her, listen, I will do whatever I can for you to try and save your life. My idea was that I was going to be out before her. I was going to go on Richard and Judy, it was at the time, that were doing This Morning. I'm going to go on there, tell your story, and get you out. That was the plan. She was due out before me, so that couldn't happen. So I'm not proud of myself, but what I told her to do was make a little chib out of a toothbrush and a razor. And if anybody comes to get you before I leave, just cut them a little bit with it. It'll keep you there for a couple of years until we both get out or I get out. I'll be able to do something for you. I can raise awareness for your case. And we had it all planned. Every day we thought, when the keys were coming to, she's going. She didn't go. As it happened, she actually got released to Manchester to a couple that were friends of mine. And we sorted it out for her that she could go to Manchester, stay there, and as far as I know, she's still alive. But I saved that woman's life in prison. I put everything that was for my sentence, looking after my own needs, I put that on the back burner, and I did everything I could to get this woman out of prison and free and in one piece, not going back to Iran to be bricked to death. She survived and we saved her. So for all of you that are calling me a racist, I'm not a racist. I don't hate black people. I don't hate anybody. I hate the fact that people are so stupid and that they're being drawn into a real race war here that could and very well probably will end up with the black people absolutely detesting us for something that we've never done. I don't know if you've noticed, but whenever the seas are, they put anything on the telly saying that the oceans are full of plastic and it's our fault. We feel that we have done something wrong. We haven't done anything wrong. I have not got a carbon footprint that falls off the edge of the earth. I don't go flying here, there and everywhere, making lots of rubbish and lots of carbon coming out the end of a plane because I've got to go somewhere. That's not how I live my life. I go and travel abroad when I need to. My carbon footprint is tiny. I'm sick to death of the globalist elite making the likes of you and me feel guilty for doing anything that we do. You don't need to feel guilty. We are not doing this. They are. If you look back down in my videos and have a look who they are, the Illuminati, I know that sounds ridiculous, but the globalists, the elites that run this gaff, that blame us for everything, and we do feel guilty for it. Don't feel guilty. It's not about us. It's about what they're doing. They are doing this and making us feel that big for it. It's all wrong. We need to wake up. They are the culprits, not us.